And welcome back to Sunday Square Off. You've heard us talk on the show about the 2020 presidential election running through Maricopa County. Well, the county has turned from red to purple over the last two elections. Chuck Todd and the political team at NBC News have noticed. In the new County to County project, they'll be focusing on 5 counties nationwide for 2020, and Maricopa is one of them. Chuck told me why.
I sort of chuckle because I think it's obvious to me Maricopa belonged in. If you're going to tell somebody what are the 5 most important counties in the presidential race, and if you believe like me that Arizona is one of the 5, probably going to be one of the 5 most closely contested states in the presidential race, then you have to include Maricopa. It's sort of a county state, if you will. It's obviously so enormous in that respect. But let's, and it's hard to imagine, as Maricopa goes, likely so goes the state itself. So there's that. I think there's the fact that we really haven't gotten to know Arizona as a swing state for very long. I do want us more embedded in Maricopa, learn the intricacies. We as a national news organization have been all over Florida and Ohio my whole adult life. We don't, and many of us know the nitty-gritties of both states as if we grew up there, and I did grow up in one of the 2 states, Florida, but I didn't grow up in Ohio. I think this is something in order to improve our coverage, improve our understanding of the intricacies. I mean, there's a lot of complicated electoral issues within Maricopa County that I think gets brushed away on a national focus. Having somebody embedded there, following the politics of the county more closely on a week-to-week and day-to-day basis will only help us understand why the state's moving in one direction or the other.
So a lot of folks here still don't quite believe we're purple, turning purple. There are certainly pockets of purple in Maricopa County. You are bright purple. Bright purple.
Bram, you guys are bright purple to me. Yeah.
So drill down and tell us where you see the purple. Tell us why that is.
Look, the purple is in just your high independent number. I mean, that is a number, the number of people that want to register as independent. It's always been high in Arizona. There's always been an independent mindset in the state. It's why a person like John McCain did so well over the years. He appealed. Having that appeal to independence, you can overcome problems in your own party base. The independent vote is so big and I think so prominent in the state of Arizona. So that's number one. But the fact is, I think that particularly, I think, as the Republican Party has had this sort of identity crisis, as it shifted to the right, there has been a slice of what I would call libertarian Republicans. Jeff Flake was the most emblematic of that, who are fiscal conservatives, serious conservatives, really small government conservatives, but also sort of social, liberals is not the right term. I always call it social libertarianism, which is different than socially liberal, which is sort of government shouldn't be involved in your private life, period. I think that they're turned off a little bit by President Trump. I think it has made them more open to going back and forth between both parties. So it is a state that is more, I think, independent, and really that's why I say it's deep purple. This isn't a state that I sit here and say it's trending red or trending blue. Yes, the rise of the Hispanic vote could push it in a blue direction if Republicans continue to have problems with Hispanics. But to me, Arizona is the single most independent, as in purple, middle-of-the-road state that we're going to be covering in the 2020 election.
And quick question, when Election Day arrives, do you think the White House will be won by whoever wins Maricopa County?
I think that's possible. I'm not ready to say Arizona is going to be the 270th electoral vote for somebody, but I'm pretty close. I do think the 3 most close, right now, I think the 3 closest states if the election were held today would probably be Wisconsin, Arizona, and North Carolina, if you just made me put a gun to my head type of thing. The reason I'm not saying for sure is I do think it's Democratic nominee dependent. I don't know if Arizona is ready to go with somebody as liberal as Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders. And that is an open question, I think, for a lot of Democrats. So that's why, that's why we want to be embedded here. I think Maricopa County, we're going to know early on, being there, finding out what kind of, how would an Elizabeth Warren as nominee play. We'll get a better sense of it there.
That's our show for this week. Thanks very much to all of our guests, and thank you so much for joining us. See you back here next weekend for another round of Sunday Square Off.